What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and if you want to take a little trip back down memory lane, think about what you wanted to be when you were really young. I think I remember distinctly writing like some sort of letter when I was like in 4th or 5th grade that I wanted to be an archaeologist. I'm sure I had probably just seen Indiana Jones at that point, but needless to say, a lot of the popular answers were the president, astronaut, famous athlete, gymnast, lawyer, doctor. I don't remember any of them actually writing that they would like to grow up and be a professional tattletale. But that's exactly what this, in my opinion, lunatic Nandini Jammy has turned into. And she has a long list of hilarious cell phones, starting with the recent attempt to deplatform the Babylon Bee, a satire website, for misinformation. I'm not kidding. Hot takes so sharp you could cut them with a knife, particularly one from Kamikoto. Check this out. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Kamikoto. That's right, Kamikoto makes Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques from Japan. Over 800 years of Japanese technology and expertise have gone into creating the steel that this knife has been meticulously handcrafted from, using techniques that date all the way back to the Edo period of Japan. Kamikoto only uses steel sourced from mills in Japan. Each knife comes in a beautiful, heavy-duty wood box. It makes sure that the knife is stored safely. Each knife is individually inspected and comes with a lifetime guarantee. These are knives that I personally own and use. I got a set through this promotion. Over Christmas, I used it to cut a beautiful brisket that I had made for the holidays, and cut ham and turkey and all sorts of things. Not only did it work flawlessly, but it was a talking point at the table. The knives felt like the perfect weight. They were perfectly balanced. And on top of all of this, just for you, my subscribers, you guys can get an additional $50 off any purchase you make with discount code THEQUARTERING. So click the link below and go to kamikoto.com/thequartering and use promo code THEQUARTERING to save an extra $50 today. So to understand the hilarity that is Nandini Jammy, you must understand where she came from. She came from a company called Sleeping Giants, which, if you're familiar with the work that they do, then it needs no more explanation. But they are splitting over a dispute on credit and titles. She wanted more credit, apparently. Since 2016, copywriter Matt Rivets and marketer Nandini Jammy have run Sleeping Giants, a social media campaign group that pressured companies to stop financially supporting far-right media, whatever that is. Apparently that's the Babylon Bee nowadays. They have persuaded more than 4,000 companies to pull ads from Breitbart. They have helped drive Bill O'Reilly from Fox News. They have independently run affiliates in nearly a dozen countries. And today they are splitting up over disputes centered on titles and credit and equality. My life has revolved around this company for nearly 4 years now, and I've accepted that this movement was more important than whatever I've been going through. Except it wasn't, because you quit because you wanted more credit, but that's neither here nor there. Jamie told BuzzFeed News, but it was clear that even though I was doing the same level of work as Matt, he did not consider me an equal. Wah, wah. Sleeping Giants' decentralized structure, in which Jammy and Rivets equally split duties without one of them formally being in charge, allowed it to move more quickly and win impressive victories. Here's what they did. Here's what their tactics were: whining on Twitter. That's literally what this company did, and that's exactly what she went off to do now with her new tattletale website called... What is it? Well, we'll look into it in a second. It's too hilarious to pass up. This via Post-Millennial. Please don't be... Okay, good. It's by Libby. Okay. Leftist activist Nandini Jammy targets satire site Babylon Bee for cancellation over disinformation. By the way, it is a satire website. It is not a news website. Check My Ads co-founder Nandini Jammy set her sights on the Babylon Bee. By the way, they've also gone after the post-millennial as the latest target of her deplatforming and demonetization campaign. The leftist activist who links conservative ideas and outlets to hate and disinformation in an attempt to get companies to pull their ad buys from the websites she doesn't like has made a major misstep targeting the Babylon Bee. The Babylon Bee is satire, not news. It peddles comedy and not actual information at all. This would make it hard for it to be quote unquote disinformation. In response to Jamie's claims, the Babylon Bee wrote that watchdogs are calling out newsletter lists as a front to mislead and disinformation, and shared a link so readers could sign up. Of course, the Babylon Bee is a satirical website that lists itself as the world's best satire site and is totally irreverent in all its claims. The site satirizes everything, and the stories can be found about Amazon's Alexa volunteering to lead family in prayer, or Neil Young threatening to leave Spotify again unless Vladimir Putin backs down from Ukraine. No subject is off limit for the Bee. But satire is just disinformation. She highlights the description as the Bee as Christian news satire, as though simply being Christian and satirizing culture from a Christian moral perspective is damnation in itself. Jamie claims that Bee's designation satirical site is a front to mislead and retain advertisers. I'm not kidding you. This woman is out here saying that, look, I know that it's satire and everyone knows that it's reading satire, but I'm saying it's not satire. Here's the real reason they're going after the Babylon Bee. It's extremely powerful. It has huge social media reach and large viewership numbers. I mean, they just interviewed Elon Musk, for crying out loud. So what she really worried about is the fact that people who are probably centrist or center-right read the Babylon Bee, and it often memes on the kind of far-left talking points, which dominate mainstream media, to late-night talk show hosts, comedy, to everything, right? So if you're going to... The thing about this satire and comedy is that you go after who's in charge, right? You punch up. Well, that's the mainstream media, right? You see, watchdogs are calling our newsletter email list a front to mislead and disinformation. Join it today. Join the list. That's from Babylon Bee. I have a mailing list too, by the way. If you just go to thequartering.com and there's a sign up right on top. You should join it today too. I talk about actually that a lot because mailing lists are going to quickly become more important than like even subscriptions. I know I tell people to subscribe here, but one day I'm really going to need to get a hold of people, and it may go back to like email. It's like going back to, remember that, was it in Independence Day when they went back to Morse code to like confuse the aliens or something? Like that's how it feels. We're going to have to go back to like emails and actual letters to reach people because there's so much censorship at the top. Like I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but it's actually not. So you see, Nandini Jamie says, Babylon Bee may describe itself as satire, but that appears to be a front to mislead and retain advertisers. Based on what? Based on what? Your opinion? Because you have such a great track record of being unbiased over at the Sleeping Giants? They are promoting disinformation through their email subscribers that most advertisers will never know about. But you know what's funny? She doesn't actually list any of that said misinformation. Here's Kathin Brodsky saying, please explain how is obvious satire disinformation? I mean, the satire here is a list of 10 things. The disinformation is that masks don't work. Babylon Bee packages up disinformation and sells it as satire, even outside of their email rentals. Ooh, jokes. You mean like the CDC said? Again, and then, the Ron DeSantis Florida campaign is renting out the Babylon Bee's email list to fundraise over claims of Canada becoming an authoritarian wasteland and a Faustian dystopia. So he paid to advertise on their site. That's a service that they offer, right? She claims that the Bee is promoting disinformation through email subscribers that most advertisers will never know about. The Babylon Bee does not hide the fact that it has a newsletter. In fact, it promotes it in order to get more subscribers, since the goal of the newsletter is to reach as many people as possible. Somehow Jammy thinks the Bee is just trying to keep it a secret, which would make it making for a shockingly useless newsletter. The Post-Millennial editor-at-large, Annie No, who along with Post-Millennial has been the target of Jammy, due entirely to No's unflinching reporting on the far left, the journalist slammed Jammy's expose of the Bee. He linked back to reporting on Jammy and her Super Soilger affiliated associates who join her in trying to deplatform sites that she doesn't like. The Super Soldier member who colludes with Jammy is trying to shut down the Post-Millennial was revealed to have a history of also racism, anti-Semitism, incitement, and a subject for ongoing accusations of harassing people. I think I know who they're talking about, too. As if some others wondered if Jammy's post itself was satire, while others simply took the opportunity to sign up for the newsletter. Is this satire? This is seriously some next-level self-parody. I mean, they don't even have to do it. You just do it yourself, wrote Larry Sanger. Jammy's absurd view has been shared by others who lack any sense of humor at all, such as Facebook third-party fact-checkers, when the Bee joked that Jeopardy champion Amy Schneider, a biological male who identifies as trans, proves the vast superiority of the male intellect. Everybody makes that joke, right? Patriarchy wins again. The post was taken down for hate speech. It was unclear who was being hated by such a statement. Most media outlets simply referred to Schneider as the winningest woman in Jeopardy history. USA Today fact-checked the Bee for joking that its Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals overturned the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as though USA Today were concerned that readers of the satirical site would actually believe that a court overturned a death. Not to be outdone, the conversation tried to smear the Bee simply for saying that right-wing comedy is no joke because it doesn't punch up at the powerful elite. In doing, the conversation completely ignores the fact that the left is the powerful elite. They also try to link the site to the Proud Boys, which is something that Jammy does frequently as a means to discredit her targets. Like the conversation, Jammy does this without proof. These people, as much as you want to point and laugh at them, have power. It's annoying how much power they have. They go after your sponsors. I've had it happen to me. People contacting. I've lost sponsors in the past. Luckily now my sponsors pretty much stick with me. You know, they know who I am. They know that I'm not what weirdos say about me. But you would be surprised how like 50 emails coming into a company's HR inbox will get people gone. They don't need a lot of people following them in lockstep. But make no mistake about it, this isn't about stopping disinformation. This is about taking down people that they view as a threat and websites they don't like. So please continue to support the Babylon Bee. I'm not affiliated in any way, but support sites you like and keep laughing at these lunatics.